a little bit nervous, so if I start speed talking, please do let me know. I will apologize. Although Douglas only gave me 10 minutes to explain to you what took us over 3 years, so speed talking might be necessary as well. Like the introduction told, my name is Kai. I work for the Gogh Museum in Amsterdam. We have had over 2 million visitors for the past 3 years, but it wasn't always like that. So I'm going to take you into a little trip down memory lane where it started, for me at least, when I joined the museum in 2015. Back then at the marketing department for the Gogh Museum, and I was responsible for the travel and the trade. I start off with the mission. So what does the Gogh Museum want to achieve every year? We're over 400 employees in the museum, and one of the big differences, I think, with major attractions is we do not emphasize on getting as many people in the museum as physically possible. So it's a big difference compared to some of the other attractions that are in Amsterdam. But we try to make sure that everybody that goes to the museum becomes an ambassador. Everybody who reads about Van Gogh wants to visit the museum. Everybody who reads about Gauguin, one of the other painters that inspired Van Gogh, reads a little bit more about Van Gogh. That's also the way we look at our partners. It's not all about our numbers, it's about inspiring people. So back in 2015, we had over 1.6 million visitors in the museum, and we had one big challenge. So over 80% of the people going to the museum are tourists from over 120 different countries. That's over 120 different nationalities and languages and challenges for us. Those vouchers that they brought us, those vouchers that all the OTAs started with no time frame, like free sale, they were killing us. Because in the high season, it actually meant that people had to wait in line for over 3.5 hours. So this is just a general cue from that period. When we opened the museum at 9 o'clock, we would close at 7, and around 3, 4 o'clock, we needed to tell people, yeah, you're at the back of the line, and you're not going to make it today, so you have to come back tomorrow. Now, that wasn't the visitor experience that they were expecting, and at a certain point, our operating director, he explained to us, we're going to have 2 extra people, one to make sure that people understand in different languages, and one to catch the spit, because people were spitting in people's faces at the end, like, I bought this ticket, why can't I get in? We were explaining in 120 different languages, it's not actually a ticket, it's more like a voucher where you can get in the museum, but just not right now. So we realized we needed to change some things. Also, because this voucher free sale system that everybody was working with at the time, it really crushed our own KPIs. Because we wanted to sell more tickets online as well. We were looking for that customer insight. Who's coming when? What's his name? Is he bringing kids? Does he buy an extra multimedia tour or not? But because we had so many free sale tickets, we had to completely close our own online ticketing sales. Taking that in mind, together with the museum capacity, we needed to make some changes. So fast forward to 2016. In 2016, we started with Barcodes, which was super exciting for us because now, finally, we could scan tickets and we would know when they were in the museum. But we didn't have a system for it yet. The system was called Excel, and everybody hated working with it, but we needed it nonetheless. So our biggest partners were selling over 200,000 tickets. That means that from the 1.6 million last year, over 200,000 were from one partner, all free sale tickets. And we quickly realized that that could be troublesome as well for the future, because we wanted to have an equal relationship with our partners, and we didn't want to be in a situation where one of the partners could say, well, I'm selling 500,000 tickets, so I'm going to put you in a headlock, and you're going to give me 30% commission. Tao's already gone, right? So I can say that now. So we wanted to spread our visitors, and we had to. So this Excel sheet was ready with all the different barcodes and the time frames where we think we wanted those visitors. And I think that's a cue which sparked like an innovation sprint in our museum. Because we had like this gut feeling that people were coming at 11 o'clock and between 2 o'clock, but we didn't know for sure. So we started looking at people that were a lot smarter. We went to the Erasmus University in Rotterdam, and they helped us to create a super Excel. This Excel sheet had the prediction possibility for over 2 weeks. In other words, it was a crystal ball. We filled in all the data of the last 3-4 years, and then it could tell us with a 90% accuracy who is going to visit the museum in the next 2 weeks, when are they coming, and what is the sales channel that they are using. So are they coming with our own systems? Are they coming with an OTA? We finally knew how many tickets we needed to make available in the high season, but also in the low season. At this point in time, over 27% of the museum's tickets were now timed access tickets. So of 1.6 million, that meant over a quarter, we finally knew who is coming when. Now, in 2017, it was the time of the API. I think not a soul in the tourism industry wasn't talking about API, and it took me at least half a year to realize it wasn't a monkey, because in Dutch it kind of means monkey as well. So everybody's talking, where's the API? Where's the API? And I go like, we don't have an API. What is it? Now, the API really did miracles for us. We used the API as a tool to connect a reseller flow. So we had these digital tickets in our Excel sheet, but now we needed to connect to our partners. We needed to connect to tickets, to Get Your Guide, to Viator, to Booking.com, to make sure that they had real-time data on the availability that we had in the museum. So no more queues. Basically, for the first time in history, the Van Gogh Museum wasn't only known for the paintings, but there were no lines. Everybody was talking about it's a tourism museum with the long lines, so we don't go there. And now, all the lines disappeared. With an even better advantage, we got more customer data. So more people bought the tickets, and we were able to partner up with our OTA clients that we were working with to set a new record of 45% of the tickets that were sold online. And in a timed access situation. And a new record, because we were spreading the visitor numbers all over the year, 2.2 million visitors. And when I joined the museum in 2015, what I just said, it's 1.6, and then people were already, it's a record, Kai. You're coming in a record year, it's never going to be better than 1.6. Until we hit the 2.2, and then we wanted more. So it's 2018 now, and it's exciting. The Reseller Flow is working. It took us a year, so yeah, we started in 2016 telling people about it. 2017 we launched it, and now it was time to tweak it. So people were connected, APIs were working, and we still realized that the workload we had from these OTA partners, from the group partners there, was a little bit too high. So for the first time, we increased the number of tickets that you had to sell to become part of the Van Gogh Museum family. So to become a partner, you needed to sell 250 tickets. Well, that sounds like super low, Kai. What do you mean? Well, in the beginning, we wanted everybody to be our friend. So if somebody said, I have a small agency and I want to sell your tickets, we say, oh, sure, here's your contract. And in the end, we had over 170 contracts of a lot of small people, and which was great because we loved them coming to the museum as well. Only we needed to hire 15 extra people for all the workload, the vouchers, the tickets, the financial component of that. So we increased it to 250, which reduced the amount of contracts we had, which gave us more time to actually work with the partners that had a contract. Because we didn't see it as just selling tickets, we really wanted to start building with them. And also learn from them. Because some of the partners, they realized, okay, you're not like a Canal Cruise and not able to make super money out of you. Maybe I can add something. Maybe I can add your tour. Maybe I can add a book to create extra revenue. So for the first time, partners were already thinking a little bit more in the way we would like to work with them. So that's the partner up part. And then we were also talking about the Google AdWords part. So a lot of these OTAs we worked with, they were very, very, very smart in the Google branding department. So we had one guy doing it as an extra, commercial guy. He was like, hey, maybe I can do the Google AdWords. And I remember talking to the Booking.com guys and the tickets guys and girls, and they were like, yeah, we have a whole team doing that, so that's why we're always number one. And then we asked them, and I think that's the most important thing. We asked them, listen, you're now branding in our brand name. It doesn't make sense for somebody in Hong Kong to type in Van Gogh Museum Amsterdam and then go to the Booking.com page or goes to the ticket page. It makes sense he goes to our page. If he types in Best Museums Amsterdam, sure, you can go to your site. We would love that. And they kept working on it with us. So we were in synergy. It was like a symbiotic relationship together with our partners. And then after they did that, we did something quite radical. We told them, listen, for all these tickets you're selling, we're not going to pay any commission. So not 20%, not 30%, not 10%. We're going to stop paying commission. And that's not because we want to bully you or not because we think the way you work isn't of this time and age. The problem was that for some of these partners, we were paying 50, 60, 100K a year for them to sell tickets of the Van Gogh Museum, but we didn't know what they did with that 100K. They could use it for everything, to promote our competitors, to promote different countries. So we said, we're going to work in a system where we're not giving you commission, but you're making new marketing plans to promote Amsterdam, to promote the Netherlands, and we're going to pay that. That resulted in marketing campaigns for the Van Gogh Museum in Italy, in London, in Japan. It made our focus bigger, and it made sure that we had the ability to start working with partners and communicating not only the Van Gogh Museum brand, but also the brands of the partners that worked with us. So we weren't afraid that you could buy a Van Gogh Museum ticket on tickets. We just wanted to make sure that if you buy it on tickets, we didn't reach you before, that we didn't use our own communication, our own marketing, but they did their job really good in selling a ticket where we weren't able to sell the ticket. And that way, create a new ambassador. And now 2019, I'm almost out of time already, so I'm going to make this really quick. We're trying to have more service for our customers, work even better with our partners. A lot of people see the 2.2 million people coming to the museum as a great way to use as an affiliate program. So we're talking to partners, hey, can you set up white label ticketing for our website, where we sell maybe Canal Cruise, we sell Kröller-Müller Museum, something that the client wants after he already bought the ticket with us. And we're setting up a reseller flow for groups to make that work even better as well. So, as a wrap-up, better service to our visitors, because it's less crowded, there's no line, people are enjoying it better, we get higher appreciation numbers. Better use of the museum capacity. We're a big museum, but we're also the smallest museum in the Museum Square in Amsterdam. 1,600 people can go into the museum at any time. And for instance, our closest neighbor, the Rijksmuseum, has over 4,000 people. So we need to think about what we do with the capacity. Better synergy with our partners. They are now thinking, how can we help the Van Gogh Museum? How can they promote us? Going into new target places, new audiences that we weren't able to reach before. Less workload in the back office. The Reseller Flow eliminated vouchers, eliminated the extra counting hours that we had at the end of the day. Basically, better opportunities for the museum. And I'd like to end this. Thank you guys for your time. I hope it made a little bit sense in the speedy way I had to go past these 3 years. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here. I think working in tourism, the tourism industry, doesn't matter what area you're in, the tech part, the excursion part, it's a great industry. We get to work with people and to make them a little bit happier every day and smile and give them great experiences. And I think we're all really lucky to do that.